Allow me to introduce you to Sonic Bomber, known in the UK and the US as Wing Saber, possibly because his swords store on his wings. Even I don't make jokes that bad. Sonic Bomber is a bloody heavy A-10-esque aircraft, and right away there's some weird stuff going on with the scale. The cockpit's pretty small. How the hell big are those engines? Cutting a long story short, I like this guy to an extent. Problem number one though, plane looks good, plane looks awful. Undercarriage junk, the bane of the plane former. It could have been avoided as well. If it wasn't for this mechanism here that keeps the chest plate hanging underneath and risking scratching to its lovely chrome, it really could have been a lot slimmer. Not only that, but the miniguns here should really just have rotated up sideways to fill in where these rocket pods are. It would have saved space, you wouldn't have had to have an obsolete weapon, and you wouldn't have these ridiculous landing gear either. Taking him at face value, he has a couple of machine guns, a couple of miniguns, rockets, missiles, further missiles, pair of swords. This guy, once again, for a good guy, is surprisingly well armed. There's this dopey landing gear. It's detailed and all, but that's really stupid. Sonic Bomber, as a plane, he's alright. There's a lot of compromise. There's a lot of stuff that just doesn't look right. The engines are on a funny downward slanty angle. The connection points for them are really small and feeble at the back there. For an Armada figure, he'd be good. For an Energon figure, he'd be okay. For a Cybertron figure, he's fairly poor. So initially, a very competent, very good looking, very well armed, and remarkably shiny robot mode. He's got great big hefty feet, he's got these brilliant transformation where the hands are formed from the minigun barrels. You pull this little lever back and some of the fingers retract and it just looks fantastic. Unfortunately, the further you look into this figure, the more problems you find. Starting from the top, you've got the American football helmet-esque head with its little visor, and I like it. He's kind of serious and grumpy and quite tough, which befits a guy so utterly covered with artillery. However, you go further down and you find that the arms, while they're articulated, they are articulated in a weird way, which means you can't get an awful lot of poses out of them. You can detach the Tetris block missile launchers and ponk them into the side of the hands. It does look a little daft, but it kind of works, and yes, the missiles do fire and blind people. Problems abound, however, with part of the transformation gimmick. You see, these wing sections here like to just flop loose. Mine just, they don't stay in place unless you hold them, let go, and don't breathe. In a word, it's compromised. He doesn't stand up very well thanks to his huge backpack, and not only that, but butt pack as well. Also in here is where you store his sword handles. Up his bum. Brilliant. Now behind the head, you see that little grey doodad? Little cajoling, and it'll pop up. Now, we had Scourge's laser hat. This guy does beat him. He also has a sound effect gimmick. That's it. It's not bad. He's not great. He's basically an articulated brick. Hard to balance. I think the way it works is, if you were going to buy this figure in his own right, you'd do so either out of completism or some sort of fanatical devotion to this particular character. Everybody else, however, buys him for this. Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, please, a proper amount of respect for Sonic Convoy. This is a wonderful combined mode. It gives him a jetpack on the back, obviously the swords, lovely chrome chest plate, the missile feet, the heel spurs so he can actually stand up, believe it or not. They outdid themselves with this design. It's just fantastic. Well, I'm going to have to sign off fairly soon for two reasons. One, YouTube only allows me 15 minutes, and two, my arm's getting really bloody tired. And I'd like to dedicate this video to Brad, otherwise known as Exilian XLR, for his love of Galaxy Force, and to Six Shot Ninja on the Full Metal Hero boards for helping me get hold of Sonic Convoy, who I've been after since I bought Galaxy Convoy probably about 4 or 5 years ago. Thank you both. Ta-ta!